Alright, we're just going to jump right in here. I want to start out by making a slip knot. And just needs to fit on the end peg. Doesn't really matter where you start here. You want it to be tight enough to fit the peg, but not so tight that you won't be able to work with it. Just toss that tail back there. So we're going to use this as our first loop, our starting point here. Lift this up. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it around, and we're going to have to create 2 loops here. And pass that bottom one up and over. We're going to keep going. Wrap it twice, and that bottom one up and over. Twice, up and over. We're going to knit this on here. And these are knit stitches. And we're going to cast on 17 of them to get started. Now, it doesn't really matter what size loom you're using as long as it has at least 17 pegs. It also doesn't matter if it's round, you can get one of the flat ones, whatever you like. And these pegs all have a groove in the front that makes it easy to fit your tool in there and go up and over the top. So we're going to cast on 17. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, halfway there. Now this yarn that I'm using, it is the Lion brand, Thick and Quick, and the color is called Cabernet. It's real close to that color of the year, Marsala. Okay, I need 3 more. Now, if you've seen some of my other tutorials or some of the other ones out there, we're not going to knit this whole thing. We're going to knit and purl. It's going to be an alternating stitch when we get going here. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, okay, there we go. I lose track because I'm not used to talking to the camera while I work. So now that we've got 17 casted on, we're going to start knitting going back the other direction. So what we're going to do is wrap it around and face the yarn the other way here, and just grab both these stitches. This is just the end one that we're going to do 2 for. Up and over. Now this second one here, this one's going to be a purl. So what we're going to do is reach under with the hook, grab that yarn and pull it out and make another stitch. This loop is puffy here. We want to go over the top, take it completely off, and put that new stitch on. Now the next one is going to be a knit. So just like casting on, we'll go around, up and over, and then we'll alternate and do the purl for this one. And knit. And purl, knit, and purl. And you want to just keep going all the way till you get to the end. See if I can give you a little close up here. For the knit, it's around the top, up and over. For the purl, we go lower, hook it with the hook, and pull that stitch out. It's nice and fluffy. Pull that off and put the new stitch on and pull that snug. When we get to the end here, we're going to wrap it once, but since we're not going to keep going this direction, we're going to wrap it a second time and pull it back towards the left there. And in this case, we're going to grab both of these bottom stitches and go up and over with them. It's these ends that are the only time that you'll ever work with two, and that's just so that you can put your yarn going back the other direction. So then we're back to purl here. The end ones you'll always be knitting. So each peg, this will be always a purl peg, this will always be a knit peg. You're going to alternate back and forth. And then what you'll end up with is a cowl that's got like a nice texture to it. And you'll have to pardon me if this looks a little clumsy. I'm not really used to doing it for the camera here. So you just keep going. We're going to do about 48 inches to double it up to be an infinity scarf. Now once you've finished knitting, I've done just a little over 4 feet here. It was about a skein and a half, so real close to about 150 yards of yarn in the Thick and Quick. What we're going to do is fold your work in half, and you're going to take this starting edge and you're going to put those stitches that you very first started with and place them right on the pegs on top of your final stitches. Now if you decide that you prefer a scarf that's finished just flat on the ends, more like a traditional scarf, if you didn't want to go the infinity scarf route, oops, almost missed a stitch there, then you would finish it off just the same way as this. You just wouldn't put those stitches on top of one another. So once you got your stitches doubled up here, I cut off about 5 feet of yarn here. It's probably more than I need, but it's always better to have too much than not enough. And let's see, let's tuck that away here. Got an extra peg. Okay, here we go. What we're gonna do is, make sure I'm on camera here. Okay, starting with the top stitch on the very end and the underside of the stitch of the next stitch next to it, you're gonna go downward through the top and then through the bottom. And of course I'm getting a little bit stuck here. Now you notice we didn't catch that bottom stitch. That's okay, we're gonna catch it when we come back. So same thing here, we're gonna go from the top to the bottom of the neighbor. Now I'm just using an embroidery needle here. You can use the plastic needle that came with your loom set. Mine has since gotten lost, but plastic would be fine. Otherwise just use a blunt end needle. So top to bottom. We're just going to stitch through, going all the way across, top to bottom. And top, bottom. All right, and I'm going to make just a little knot here. And now we're going to go back the other direction. Top of the end through the bottom of the neighbor. And just get that final one here. And we finally caught that bottom row. And then now here is where we just want to tie a knot. And we'll tie it off. Trim it off here. Get that out of the way, and this can just pop right off. Easier said than done, right? And you've got a finished seam here and an infinity cowl.